Crazy Will here today, and today we're going to be talking about the Raspberry Pi. Not the food. Stay tuned and I'll tell you what it is. Hey, Crazy Will from Crazy Will's Tech Show. Today we're going to be talking about a Raspberry Pi. And no, I am not hungry. I am actually talking about this miniature-sized computer. That's what a Raspberry Pi is a little computer. This thing's really ingenious, and I'm going to show you real quick. It's got an Ethernet port. And mind you, by the way, this is a really old one. This is the Raspberry Pi 1. They're up to the 3 now, and they also have the 0, which is equal to this one. It's the Raspberry Pi 0W, and it's equal to this one. Those actually have Wi-Fi built into them, but this one, let me get back to this one. I'm sorry, I'm rambling. This one was the Raspberry Pi 1. Really cool. It's got an HDMI port right there, Ethernet port right there, 2 USB ports, an audio and video port. There's your audio, there's your video. Then it's got these pins. That's how you can control other devices and accessories, which I'll get to that. And then you have a memory card slot. Now on the new ones, it's a micro SD memory card slot, but this one's a full-size memory card slot. Basically, this is a computer, a credit card sized computer. And I can't tell you how excited I am about something like this. I mean, I've had this for several years now. I love the damn thing. In the beginning, it was really hard to learn how to program, to learn how to do things, but it is so neat, the things you can do with this thing. And there's so many amazing programmers out there that are putting out software, free software, to make these things do just about anything. There are so many accessories that you can get for this. You can get a touchscreen that goes over the top. You can get sensors that plug right into your GO, I think it's called a GO or JO or some, into these pins right here. It's the main piece that you can plug all these different devices, sensors, lights. There's even a camera spot, that's for the camera. There's so much stuff that you can add on to this and so many accessories. I'll put a couple pictures of the accessories right here so you guys can get an idea of it. But there are a ton. So there's a lot of creative guys out there that made so much software for this, so much stuff. This is amazing. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna show you real quick. I got some connections and I'll show you real quick. This one does not have Wi-Fi built into it. There's other ones that have Wi-Fi built into it. This one does not. So I have a dongle for that, and I have a keyboard that I'm gonna hook up to this, and I have a case for it. It's a good idea to get yourself a case. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hook it up to my monitor and through the HDMI port, and I'm gonna show you the operating system of this. Like I said, it's a full function computer. Operating system is free. You can download it. I believe it's at raspberrypi.com. If I'm wrong, I'm going to put it right here to show you the correct address, because you know my memory is horrible. And you download the image file, and then you use software, which I'm going to have a video for that. I'm going to have a video coming out next week for that, on how to flash a memory card to put the operating system on your Raspberry Pi. Basically, it takes a little mini SD card. Well, it takes this one takes regular SD cards, but basically all the new Raspberry Pis, which I have not gotten one yet. I can't wait to get one of them. I'm eventually going to get one. Puts it on this little mini SD card, but I have it hooked to this. And then it just plugs in like so right into the board, and that's it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in a case. Like I said, they make cases for it. This is my case. It's got a little clear case, and they make cases for it, and you can just throw it together like so. And I'm just going to show you this. A nice case, so you don't have to worry about really static electricity. So there's the case. So that's the computer in the case. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a Wi-Fi dongle on this, so that way we can connect to the Wi-Fi. That's a Wi-Fi dongle, and it automatically reads it, which is really interesting. And then this is a USB port, wireless receiver for my keyboard, and that's my mouse. And this is my left click, right click. It's an all-in-one. You can hook a mouse to this, but because it only has 2 ports, the new Raspberry Pi 3 has 4 ports, which is awesome, and I need to invest money into that, and I haven't pulled the trigger yet, but we'll get to that. So let me hook this up, put power to it, show you the operating system. Let's do that. All right, so we're on the ugly side of my shop, or my office, or my studio, whatever I'm calling it these days. What I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in this adapter. I'm going to hook the HDMI to the monitor. We'll turn on the monitor. And then we're going to connect this power cable, which is just like a little USB kind of power cable. We're just going to plug it in, and it's automatically going to turn on the Pi. And as you can see, it's booting up. It is an actual real computer, so it's really neat to watch this thing go. Oh, that's RetroPie. That's the wrong one. Let me go get the real memory card. Okay, finally got the right one in. Which reminds me, why that boots up, you might want to invest in getting quite a few of these, because you'll start running programs and start designing things and doing different applications with them, and it's nice to have a backup. It's also nice, several of these for different projects, because like they make a ton of different operating systems and different things that you can run on it, and the Pi doesn't know the difference between this one and that one. Like I have RetroPie on this one, and that's why when I tried to do this and I said that it's finally time to do the right one, that's what happened, because I had RetroPie on this one and I have the regular Raspberry Pi. I actually have on this one the regular Raspberry operating system, and I have Homebridge actually on this one, so it actually controls my devices, which I'm hoping we'll get to a tutorial on that. Homebridge is really cool. It basically makes HomeKit see all the devices that aren't Apple enabled products or HomeKit ready products. It actually makes them seeable on your network. So it's pretty cool. Okay, so we're getting to the boot up screen. I want to show you this. All right, so this is Raspbian. This is an operating system on this computer, and as you can see, I got a mouse and I got a keyboard here. I can go on the web, which it's not very good for web surfing, I'll be honest with you. Well, this one is, and I don't know if the new ones are, but I'm gonna zoom in a little bit and show you around the Raspbian operating system. Okay, so I know this ain't the best view, but it's like a regular computer. You got a wastebasket. If you click on this, you have all different devices. You could shut it down, you can run programs, platform, accessories. Terminal is probably going to be the one that we're going to use the most if you are going to program it. But we do have Minecraft Pi on here, and then Python games, and you have the internet. You actually have like an office, an actual office set up, all different types of programs that are like Office, believe it or not. And then you have a whole bunch of other programs. I haven't really dived into this. I usually use just Terminal and then just run it headless, which I will show in another video. Basically, you can get the terminal. It's called SSH, and it's really easy to do on a Mac. You can actually SSH over to Raspberry Pi, and you actually see this terminal window right there on your Mac, so you could actually write commands to it and everything, and I'll show you how to do that. It's really cool, but I'm just doing a tour of the Raspberry Pi today. But this is your command, and you can type in all different types. This you could look up, it's all Linux based, so you can type in all different kinds of commands. That was a list command, so it would show you what's on my actual Raspberry Pi from the directory, so it shows desktop, downloads, such and such, you know, it's all different things that are categories inside my Raspberry Pi, and you can command them. This system is actually running, like I said, Homebridge. This is where you can connect to your Wi-Fi right here. I just want to show you that. So if you don't want to do, everybody tries to make you do commands through Terminal. I mean, everything you'll see on a Raspberry Pi, people are always going to say, oh, Terminal, Terminal, Terminal. That's basically how you can do everything. You could set up everything in Terminal, which is really cool, but I'm more of a visual person, so I would click on this for Wi-Fi. And then this is VNC server up here. This is a great way to actually view your desktop. So you don't have to have this connected to anything. You can actually view your desktop from your Mac computer and program everything on this without even being connected to a monitor. So you could basically just have this unit plugged in, and that's it, and you can control it and do everything you need to do from there. But this is all the operating system. You know, it's actually pretty good for what it is, and it's free. I mean, this is a free operating system, and it's really cool. And then like right here you have your folders. That's another thing, your directory of the Pi, and it shows you all the config files, and you could go through them and everything. It's a really awesome little computer. Okay, so you might be like, wow, well, that's nice. It's a slow computer. Like, what's the point? Well, the point is, there's so much stuff you can do with this. You can use it as a computer, or you can make it a smart home hub, which I have done. You can make it a video game console, which I also have done. They call it RetroPie. You can make robots with this. You know, it has attachments to it, so you can make robots and do all kinds of cool, interesting things. They actually sell kits on Amazon. You can make a NAS server if you wanted to. You could actually hook a hard drive to this, install a NAS server operating system, and actually have a network server, which is really cool. Like, you could make a home server, and it's very low voltage, so you wouldn't have to worry about it taking up too much power, and that's why I'm using it as a hub instead of one of my Macs. You can make it a web server. You can make it a tablet. I mean, the possibilities are endless with this small little credit card size computer. This is limitless, and then it's all open source, so it's really, really neat that you're able to do this. Now you're probably wondering, well, Will, what do these cost? Well, that's the beauty part of it. Okay, so your average Raspberry Pi, and I'm going to put some of the stats here. Right now, your average Raspberry Pi, which is your Raspberry Pi 3, is $35. And here are the specs. I'm going to put them right here. So for $35, you're getting a Raspberry Pi, which is awesome. But it gets better. They came out with a version basically of my Raspberry Pi called the Raspberry Pi Zero. It's basically a Raspberry Pi 1 from what I've read and what I've gathered, and I'm sure there's going to be programmers and people that are going to correct me on this or not, I don't know. But from what I've read, it's basically the same Raspberry Pi that I have here, the Raspberry Pi 1, 40 times faster, and everything is smaller. This is actually, it's even smaller than this one. And that one I've seen on Amazon for about $22. I'm gonna put all the information here. For about $22 with the case and the power adapter. The Raspberry Pi 3 with the case and the adapter and some, other pieces that you need, it's usually around $50 to $60. And, if you want to make other things, they have kits. They have the RetroPie, which is $90, and it comes with controllers and everything, so you can make a video game system. I have another one that is a remote-controlled car Raspberry Pi that's $115 that comes with all the parts to program it and get it started. It goes on forever. But those are the two basic Pis. This is the original Raspberry Pi 1. I bought it a couple years ago. And then they came out with the Raspberry Pi 2, and now they're up to the 3. And then they just came out with the Zero, which is basically this one, but 40% faster. I think it's an amazing, amazing thing that we're in a time where we can make a computer for $35. I think that's incredible. I would highly recommend this for anybody that wants to learn programming. I am not a programmer. I'm dangerous enough to do something. That's basically what it comes out to. But it's awesome. I heard if you want to learn how to program, this is it. I have learned a lot about the base commands and how to set it up. It is awesome if you want to do certain projects. I have several. I have a RetroPie that I mentioned that I'm building right now. I set up a Homebridge with this Pi right now. It's running Homebridge, and it actually makes my smart devices that aren't HomeKit enabled to actually be recognized. I have another project that I'm working with. It's called OpenHAP, where it takes all your smart devices and you can actually build an interface and turn a tablet into an interface, so that way you could have like a console, and then it actually is a hub for all your devices. And that's one of the reasons I never bought a hub for my smart home, because they're not compatible with everything. And with this, there's so many developers and so many talented people that they're writing scripts for everything, and it's amazing, and there's no limitation on it, because it's people that are just saying, hey, I want this to connect to this, so I'm gonna write a piece of software, and then they put it up there on I think it's glitch.hub, and I'll put the link down here. But yeah, that's basically what they're doing. And like I said, I think it's great for the hobbyist. I think it's great for makers. I never talked about this before because I wasn't fluent in it enough, and I would go in and out of this, playing with this, and I could never really get it to work right. I'm getting fluent enough in this that I feel comfortable with trying to share what I do with this. Really cool device, guys. I'm gonna do some tutorials, and I've always hoped and strived for making the simplest tutorials and explaining it like dumb simple to everybody. That's the way I like to learn. There is nothing worse than somebody just talking a bunch of technical jargon to somebody and not explaining really what they're doing. They're just throwing names out there, and you gotta go through everything and Google Google and figure out what the hell they're talking to. So I'm gonna stop rambling. Make sure you like and subscribe if this helped you, and share. Share my videos, guys. Put my beautiful face everywhere. And remember, you can do anything if you put your mind to it. Later, guys. Note to oneself. You need to have the memory card installed for anything to happen. You thought I was a picture, didn't you? Make sure you like and subscribe. Do me a favor already.